Amazon is constantly changing, but at the same time, there are several truths which are always staying the same. Whether you're a new seller or a 7-figure brand, you will find this video helpful for you, because these top 10 fundamentals can elevate any Amazon seller. The first fundamental is that TACAS is more important than ACAS. The ACAS is the internal indicator of effectiveness of campaign manager. So basically, how effective do you run your paid ads? But they are not including the organic sales. That's why the final indicator, which shows you the profitability of your business, cannot be an ACAS. It should be something which also includes organic sales. The ACAS gives us exactly the ratio of spend to total revenue. So you will know exactly how much are you spending to get $1 of revenue. That's why TACAS is much more important than ACAS. The second fundamental is that running out of stock kills ranking. That's why you should always be very careful with your stock, that you have enough, that you're not selling at a higher pace as you thought you're gonna sell. Always control the spend in the PPC and never go out of stock. If you already understood that you will go out of stock, try to do everything that you will not go out of stock in the future. Each time you go out of stock, it's not helping your brand at all. More times you go out of stock, the worse it is. Also, the longer it takes, the worse is the effect. So if you're gonna be out of stock for 2 weeks, so basically you're gonna start ranking from scratch. Everything which you did in the past, every dollar which you invested in the PPC was wasted. Because now you don't have any stock and Amazon is not ranking you anymore. That's why being in stock is very important. One of the main fundamentals on Amazon. The third important factor is that customer reviews are affecting the conversion. If you just launched and you have 2 reviews and you're competing with somebody who has 1,000 reviews, you should understand that this is a very important factor which affects the conversion. In future, the more you're gonna sell, the easier it's gonna be for you, because you're gonna have more reviews and new potential buyer will feel more confident into the quality of the product. That's why in future, the more reviews you're gonna have, the better conversion gonna be. The fourth fundamental is that Amazon listing has 2 goals. The first goal is to convert, and the second goal is to generate traffic. So if your listing is not perfect and is not converting, you can spend thousands of dollars in your PPC, but nothing will work. You're not going to be profitable. That's why if you run in big amount of ads, you should make sure that the listing is done well. The title is optimized, the bullet points are great, the images are perfect, you uploaded the premium plus content. All of these parts are very important for listing to convert. At the same time, listing can and should generate the traffic. The same title, the same bullet points, the same A+ content. You can incorporate the right keywords there to do a proper search engine optimization, and the listing will also attract the traffic. The fifth truth is that the main image is the most important asset of your listing. It affects all of the most important indicators. It affects the conversion rate, it affects the CTR. So that's why if you want to do one thing to increase the chances to being profitable or to scale, possibly it might be your main image. You can check the CTR. Is your CTR good enough? Is it lower than market average or it's higher? You can check this using the Brand Analytics Search Query Performance Report. Also, is your conversion good enough? You can check the same thing using the same report. The sixth truth is that it is much easier to get the better results with the ASINs which are already doing well than with the ones which are not doing well. There are a lot of risks on Amazon, so maybe there is no product market fit. Maybe the buyer is not ready to buy the product for this price. So maybe the quality is not good enough. Maybe the color is not the one the buyer wants. That's why if you want to scale your business, always start with the ASINs which are doing the best, which are generating the most of the revenue. After you did everything with the best ASINs, only then I would recommend to proceed with the ASINs which are not doing well. The seventh important factor is that the PPC is like brushing your teeth. You should do it regularly. You should do a daily optimization, you should do a weekly optimization, you should do a monthly optimization. The goal of the daily optimization is just to make sure that everything goes well. You need to check the account every day to make sure that you're not overspending, that some keywords are not overspending, that everything goes fine. Also, you should do the weekly optimization. So basically, I recommend to do all the important optimizations in your PPC on a weekly basis. because the week is the minimal period when you compare the data points without any seasonalities. So basically, the Monday can always be better than Thursday, right? Or Saturday better than Sunday. If you do optimization once per 3 days, you're gonna have the daily seasonality in your data. That's why you're not gonna do the accurate optimizations. I highly recommend to do the most optimizations on a weekly basis. Only in the case where you just launched the campaign or just launched the new product, you can do the all optimizations in a day-to-day basis. But if the product is already launched and does well, I recommend to make the biggest optimizations on a weekly basis. And also, there is a month optimization. The goal of the month optimization is to see how products are doing. Maybe you need to spend more for one or another product. Somewhere maybe you need to spend less. So basically, to look at the performance of your products from the top to bottom to understand what works, and maybe it will affect your strategy. The truth number 8. You don't need to optimize your bids every day. So why you shouldn't optimize the bids every day? Firstly, the previous truth was about the seasonality, right? If you're gonna optimize the bid every day, you might decrease the bid the day where you regularly do worse. So it's not gonna help you if you will just kill your spend in a day and not gonna get the sales tomorrow when your conversion could be much higher. Also, it is very important that you need to gather the necessary amount of data to make the robust changes. If there is not enough statistical data, all your changes are going to be random. That's why it is very important to wait some time until you aggregate some data before you make changes. The ninth factor is that most of your spend should go to the sponsored product campaigns. So basically, almost all the organic ranking, all the organic sales is built on sponsored products. That's why the sponsored product ad type should be the first ad type you are running. If you do already well with sponsored product, you can proceed with everything else. The basic rule of thumb, if you're already selling a lot, you want to spend not less than 70-80% of your spend on sponsored product. And the 10th fundamental is that testing the new keywords can increase your ACAS. What does it mean? So if you want to make the optimization, you should always work firstly with something you already work with, right? It is much easier to optimize the keyword for which you already have data, right? You know on how much you need to decrease the bid. Maybe you need to optimize the placement. Also, it is much easier to extract the keyword from auto campaigns instead of doing the keyword research from the scratch, because you already know that this search term generated the sales for you in auto campaign. At the same time, when you're doing a keyword research and launching the new keywords with tools like Jungle Scout or Helium 10, some of them might not work for you. So that's why you should be ready that if the share of the new spend is substantial, that your ACAS might go up before you understand which of those keywords are working well for you, which of them are working not well. Then you're gonna stop the ones which are not working well, and then your ACAS will be under control. If you liked the video, subscribe to get more of such information in the future. If you know more Amazon fundamentals, you can write them in the comment section. I will check all of them and reply to you.